All right, let's talk about a new AI that's doing something totally different. It's called Nano Banana Pro, and it doesn't just create images, it actually reasons about them first. And believe me, this isn't just another small update, it's a massive leap in what AI can actually see, understand, and bring to life.
I mean, just look at this. This image was generated by the AI in under 10 minutes. The realism is absolutely insane. You can see the pores on his skin, the light reflecting off the phone's metal frame. This kind of detail isn't just a clever trick. It's what happens when an AI can truly understand reality, not just copy it.
So, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll get into what makes this AI so different under the hood. Then, we'll dive into 3 game-changing breakthroughs: how it finally masters text, turns boring data into art, and can even illustrate entire stories. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about what this means for the future of creativity.
Okay, so what is the secret sauce behind Nano Banana Pro? Older models kind of just guess what you want by stitching pixels together. But this AI adds this one critical step. It reasons. It's like it stops and thinks. It analyzes the logic of your request, figures out the intent behind your words, and only then does it start to create.
And this is the magic part. Before it even generates the final image, the AI actually shows you its reasoning steps. It's like a mathematician showing their work before giving the answer. This deeper understanding is exactly why the final image is so spot on, capturing tiny details other models would totally miss. It really is a visual brain, not just another drawing tool.
Now, for the first major breakthrough, and this one solves a huge problem. For years, trying to get an AI to write clear text inside an image was its biggest weakness, right? You get these beautiful pictures with completely garbled, nonsensical words. Well, that whole era is officially over.
The difference here is just night and day. On the left, you've got that familiar, jumbled mess from older models we all know. But on the right, look at that. Those Chinese characters for Unrivaled Under Heaven aren't just text slapped on an image, they look like actual embroidery with realistic texture and shadows.
So this huge leap in text generation really boils down to 3 key things. First, the clarity and accuracy are just flawless. Second, the AI can handle really complex layouts and different artistic styles. And third, it can do this in multiple languages.
And the versatility is just stunning. It can generate something as kind of boring as a photorealistic crumpled receipt with perfect texture and faded ink. And then, in the next breath, it can create a chaotic, bustling Taiwanese night market with dozens of totally unique and accurate shop signs for everything from bubble tea to stinky tofu.
This right here shows a deep cultural understanding that goes way beyond simple translation. This symbol combines 4 separate traditional characters into one single artistic ideogram that means bring in wealth and treasure. That is a super complex concept, incredibly difficult to get right, yet the AI just nails it, right down to the little wrinkles on the fabric.
All right, the next breakthrough takes us from the world of pure art into data analysis. Nano Banana Pro can take dense, really complex information and transform it into visuals that are not just beautiful, but instantly understandable. So how does this actually work? Well, you start with something nobody wants to read, a wall of text from NVIDIA's annual financial report. You feed this to the AI with a simple prompt, and it just starts to interpret, summarize, and visualize all that key information for you.
And for example, it can instantly create this. It looks like a professor's whiteboard summary. It's pulled out all the most important data, revenue, growth rates, profit by division, and it even highlighted a key quote from the CEO. It basically turned pages of dense corporate speak into one easy-to-digest slide.
But this is where it gets really creative. We asked it to visualize the company's revenue breakdown, but in a comic book style. This isn't some pre-made template. You literally cannot make this in PowerPoint. It's a completely unique, stylized, and perfectly accurate data visualization, created on the fly from nothing but raw text.
Okay, so all of this builds to the final, and honestly, maybe the most mind-blowing breakthrough. We've seen it make single images, we've seen it make data charts, but can this AI actually plan and create an entire multi-panel story?
This has always been a massive challenge for AI, keeping characters consistent, following a plot, creating a real narrative arc across multiple images. It's incredibly complex. So let's see how Nano Banana Pro does.
So when we gave it a long passage from a novel, the AI's first step wasn't to draw, it was to plan. It actually created a storyboard, breaking the action down into 4 logical pages. This proves it's not just illustrating words one by one, it's actually understanding narrative structure. And here's the final result. A 4-page comic where the characters look the same in every panel, the action flows logically from one to the next, and the artistic style is perfectly consistent throughout. It successfully translated a boring block of text into a living visual story. And it gets even crazier. With a single command, we can change the entire style. Just like that, it's a Japanese manga, and notice the dialogue has automatically switched to Japanese. Another command, and boom, it becomes a classic American comic, complete with English text and sound effects like wham! The AI's knowledge of all these different artistic conventions is just immense.
So, what's the big picture here? What does all this add up to? The big takeaway is that this technology hasn't just made things a little bit better. It has fundamentally smashed through 3 major walls that have been limiting creative AI for years. First, it broke the wall of text, turning what used to be random garbage into clear, useful information. Second, it broke the wall of knowledge. Because it can reason, it can now interpret complex data like a real expert. And third, it broke the wall of professional design, fusing high-level knowledge with artistic creation into a single, powerful tool for pretty much anyone.
And this leaves us with a massive question. A tool like this puts the power of an expert designer, a data analyst, and a professional illustrator into anyone's hands. So when the barriers to creating things fall this dramatically, what happens next? What new ideas and what new stories are we finally going to be able to tell?